Welcome to another episode of Talk Your Spit TV. I'm your host Mario Harris, man, and of course I got to talk about them Titans, man. Another horrible loss from the Titans this past Sunday against the Raiders in Week 6, and it's like as a Titan fan, we just want to see great football. Like I just can't stress that enough. How much we just want to see great football. We want to see them come out looking like they're ready to play, looking like they want to win. And we just really haven't seen that really from no game this year. Maybe probably since the first game of the season, maybe. But anything after that, it was just really like very downhill. For the Titans, the performance was downhill. I guess the record went downhill too. So yeah. Um, but it's just really hard watching these Titans play, man, because they just been coming out very flat and very sluggish, very lazy to start a lot of these games and they try to come back later in the game, midway in the game, and it just doesn't work like that. A lot of their fourth quarter, they lost a lot of games in the fourth quarter because they gave up big yards. Really, in the second half period, they gave up a lot of big yards in the second half. And after the last week's game against Arizona, you know, just how they won. You thought you would see a turnaround from this team in this week 6 game against the Raiders. It was just another one of the most disappointing games from the Titans that I've seen in a while. I mean, really since probably not in a while, maybe since week 4 when we lost the Texans. Man, that was very very disappointing, very horrible game, and this was just like that, man. But then to top things off, Calvin really got hurt in the second half. I mean, second quarter. He hurt his hamstring and he did not return. So it just made everything about this game very, very worse, man. And just like I said, just from the week 5 dramatic win at Arizona, you would thought we would come into this game and have a great football performance that just wasn't the case, man. So coming into this game, man, the Raiders, they're also 1-4 too coming into this game, and they were on a 4 game losing streak. So the Titans, man, just off that alone, I would thought the Titans would have some type of energy to come in and play well, man. To knowing that the team you're playing against is on a 4 game losing streak and they are at home, they're going to come in to try to break that winning streak against another team with the Titans, who was also 1-4. And so the Raiders didn't want to seem like they were the worst team in this game, and Titans just came in like they just didn't care. So this game, it was a game that the Titans just needed to win. Basically, to put out that they just needed to win this game, and that wasn't the case, unfortunately. Cam Ward, he completed 22 passes on 38 attempts for 222 yards and 1 touchdown. And he also had 1 interception. And he was sacked 6 times, which was tied for the most he's been sacked this season. Titans offense they lost a total of 62 yards on those sacks also. Titans, they did welcome back offensive tackle J.C. Latham from injury and his first game back. However, he just did not look like he was in shape to play. He finished the Raiders game with 5 pressures allowed, including 3 sacks, going up against elite defenders such as Max Crosby, who had a team high 2 sacks out of the 6 that they had. He made it very difficult for Latham. The Raiders defense made it difficult for the whole offensive line for the Titans in this game. Also, in fact, Jeffrey Simmons, is reported that he stopped practice on Thursday, saying that Latham's effort was already not good enough. And Simmons also came out and said that the practice was very flat. And like I just said, they've been coming out a lot of games very flat. Like they came in this Raiders game very flat. So Simmons seen it on Thursday what was going on, and that's what I said before, man. I wish the team can get to Simmons' level of play and his mindset, and his team will be so much better. Because Simmons been with the team the longest already, and he's been with the team when Titans was winning, so he understands winning football in this league. So for him to say something like that, I believe it. I really believe that the team. Well, I mean, we see it on Sunday how the team come out, so it's highly believable that they came out to practice this past week very flat. So Simmons being the leader that he is, he will call you out and hopefully I mean, it didn't work on this past Sunday, but hopefully this next upcoming game it will work for them. Offensive play calling for the Titans is it's just very, very horrible, man. I can't stress that enough how horrible it is. They don't play to Cam Ward's strength as far as wide out, 4 or 5 wide outs and letting him see the open field, things like that. Um, they keep calling the screen passes where it's very obvious at this point what they're going to do, but it's also they run it so much. Like I said, they run it so much it's obvious, but it is also not working. It don't result in no significant yards, and I don't understand why they continuously call these screen passes, continuously call these short passes for Cam Ward when that's not the type of quarterback he is. He's the type of quarterback that gets the ball out. We've seen it in our Arizona game. We've seen it. We've seen in Arizona game the type of quarterback that he is. I don't understand why the next week they go into this safe offense again, and they don't result in no significant yards. But we also, with the sacks included into that, we also and then a few penalties too. Now thinking about it, a few penalties also into that. We also on 3rd and long a lot of time, 3rd and 10 a lot of time, and you're just going for a screen pass. These safe passes, you're not going to get a first down 9 times out of 10. It's just not going to happen. Um, I mean, I just don't know what else to say about that, man. But once again, they did it, and it resulted in either a little bit of yards or no yards, and it resulted in a punt, maybe a field goal. We only kicked one field goal this game because we were too busy punting the ball down. Think about it, too busy punting the ball. So it just really the safe offense that Titans have, it just doesn't work for Cam Ward's strength at all, like at all. Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears, they combined for 15 carries for 65 yards. Once again, another game where the running game was non-existent for the most part. With with it brings up that brings more pressure to the passing game. Unfortunately, that's just what it is. The running game not working, then you just have to try to pass the ball with these weak screen passes, and that doesn't work. But also, a lot of times that had to do with the Titans' horrible offensive line. They can't block. They can't pass block. They definitely can't run block to give holes open up for Pollard. Pollard had to make a lot of things happen for him this season. He literally had to run hard enough to make things happen. And Tajay Spears not that type of runner. Tajay Spears needs some holes open from the offensive line and pause. And it's just not happening at the time right now. So that's why they combined for only 65 yards on 15 and only just 15 carries, really. You have 15 carries for 65 yards for one running back, that's solid. That's good. That's cool. That's in two different and then two different types of running backs too. That is not going to work. And then granted, I will say the Raiders do have a solid run defense. They have they're I think if I'm not mistaken, they're top 12 in the run defense. So they're in the top half of the team of the league in run defense. So they have a good solid run defense, but nevertheless, man, the Titans they have to figure out how to get the run game going, and that will open up the passing game. But once again, a horrible offensive line play that has plagued this team this season, and that's a lot of reason why a lot of stuff does not work. So for the most part, though, again, the defense they play pretty solid enough to hold the opposing team within reach. It was 10-0 for the longest, and then until it became 17-0 in the third quarter. I think it was late in the third quarter when the Raiders scored that touchdown. But the Raiders they also scored off a fumble and an interception from the Titans offense. The defense they just couldn't stay off the field. That's a lot of stamina going on for the defense. A lot of stamina used for the defense when they can't stay off the field. They have to go to the sideline, catch a little break, and then 2 minutes later you're back on the field. That's not going to work for any defense, let alone the Titan defense. Jeffrey Simmons and Draymond Jones, they both had a sack apiece in this game. Cody Barton, he recorded an interception in this game. Cedric Gray had another great game with 12 tackles, 12 total tackles and a pass deflection. The defense, they only allowed the Raiders to a total of 226 yards. However, each time the Raiders scored, they walked down the defense mainly the length of the whole field. Besides that second quarter fumble by the Titans that allowed the Raiders great field position. I think they scored in 3 plays on that one. But the defense, they just also need to stop committing penalties, especially on third down. Them penalties, they just hurting them. They shooting themselves in the foot with these penalties. The Raiders, they had 3 first downs off penalties alone from the Titan defense. I mean, it's just very, very inconsistent from the defense, but they have played better than expected this season. However, also the offense hasn't helped the defense at all to stay off the field. And I mean, the Titans did score late in the game to make the score 20-10. However, when they were driving the ball in their last possession, a sack happened, and Cam Ward ended up fumbling that, and the Raiders get the ball, and that was the end of the ball game. Raiders win the ball game, and they stop their 4 game streak, get a 20-10 win against the Titans. And Titans just have a lot of unanswered questions going into this week 7 of play. Head coach Brian Callahan said after the game they did a good job mixing up some coverages. They pressured a lot more this game than they ever had going into it. They zero blitzed us with no deep safety a few times, which is not something they had done a lot of. The first thing that tells me is Callahan, he doesn't adjust to the game situation at all throughout the game. You see something happening once, twice, third time. You see something happening, he doesn't make any type of adjustment, where they can change things at the line real quick, change their type of play real quick. And I know he's not the offensive play caller again. I think it's what's his name, Bo Hardegree, I think that's his name. Anyway, whatever. That's neither here nor there. They just don't make adjustment. But that's also my next point. The coaching staff as a whole, it's like they're not making adjustment. You already have a rookie quarterback already, and you seeing that what you're seeing on the field is not what y'all practiced on in the week before, not what y'all seen film on the week before. So the Raiders came in already knowing that, hey, the Titans don't have a good offensive line. We have these we have a solid front, front seven, maybe something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure what type of defense. I think they are in the 4-3, if I'm not mistaken. But they have a solid front four and a solid linebacker core. So they already letting you know that, hey, well, they're not letting you know, but you see it once, two, 3 times that they straight blitzing y'all. Then they blitzing y'all with no safety, and no deep safety back there. That's crazy. You should already let your quarterback know, let your wide receivers know, anybody, let the whole offense know. Like, hey, you see no deep safety back there, they probably blitzing everybody. They're gonna send a huge blitz. That means it's time to throw over drop back. 1, 2, 3. A wide receiver need to be there. Should be there. Break, get away from the cornerback, and get in the open field and let Cam throw a pass. But that's also once again, that's also due to our lackluster offensive line. But now we're done speaking about the offensive line. Like the coaching staff have to make in game adjustments. Like you just have to know how to make in game adjustments. And I'm just not understanding why they can't. Like I just don't understand that. So, once I hear that quote from Callahan, that just lets me know, like, all right, we were prepared for what they usually do. However, what they was doing was what we prepared for. So I don't have any type of adjustments for this. We're just gonna let them. We're just gonna keep going on with our offense and hope it works. No, that ain't gonna work, especially not in professional football. That is not going to work. But fortunately for us, Titans fans, we don't have to hear Callahan speak. We don't have to worry about Callahan no more because the Titans have finally answered our prayers and they have fired Brian Callahan. Like I said before, I don't want nobody ever to lose their job. I mean, in professional sports with coaching, especially if it's not your last season on contract, you're still going to get paid. So it is what it is on that. But still, though, I know he wanted to coach. I know he probably liked being the head coach, things like this. So I don't know if I want anybody to lose their job, but at this point, man, it was time for a change, and I'm so glad that they finally got rid of Brian Callahan after this 1-5 start to start this season, and he only won 4 games in a year and a half with the Titans. Out of 23 games, he only won 4. He went 4-19 with the Titans. Man, that is horrible. And he's supposed to be this offensive guru. His dad's supposed to be this offensive line guru, and nothing went right for them at all in their tenure with the Titans at all. Titans was ranked 26 in total offense last season in 2024, and it was ranked 31st in total offense this year, within 6 games. No, that's horrible. Titans only scored 83 points this season in 6 games, which is the franchise low coming into 6 games. So all this offensive line guru from the Callahan, which may be true. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it was at one point, but it did not show with the Titans at all. Like at all. It didn't. And I bring up Brian Callahan, father Bill Callahan, because the Titans did relieve Bill Callahan of his offensive line duties too. So we don't have to worry about the Callahans saying anything, doing anything for the Titans anymore this season. They have been relieved of their duties, and it is a miracle. God is good. So the Titans, they make their senior offensive assistant Mike McCoy is the interim head coach. McCoy, he has head coaching experience as he was with the Chargers from 2013 to 2016, and he compiled a record of 27-37 with the Chargers. Chad Brinker, the president of football operations for the Titans, he has said that they felt like this was the right time to make a change, and that the organization is focused on giving McCoy every chance possible to prove that he can be the head coach and not just the interim coach. So the Titans giving him the keys. McCoy been around. He's been around NFL for a while now. He was an NFL quarterback for a few seasons, and he's also been around a lot of NFL quarterbacks in his time with Philip Rivers. He's been around Peyton Manning. He's also been around Trevor Lawrence, which is the most recent he has worked with. So McCoy has definitely got some experience with the NFL. So he brings experience and he brings leadership to this Titans team, and he bring head coaching experience also to this Titans team. Man, he's committed to helping Cam Ward. He's committed to his players over plays. So that's what he said, players over plays. So he's basically saying I'm playing to the strength of the players that we have. So he's playing to the strength of Cam Ward. So hopefully I'm hearing that. So I'm guessing he's not doing a lot of safe offense. You know, he's trying to make sure that we plays that he's calling, or I think he's also said that play calling will still be left up to the offensive coordinator. But the plays that they will be calling and working on will hopefully get them some yardage and get down the field. And once I also have to say this, even in the game with the Raiders, the Titans can get down the field. Like they shown that they can get down the field, but they also shown that once they get down the field, they can't score, or they had to settle for a field goal, or they just turn the ball over for whatever reason, or penalties happen. I want McCoy to come in to one first and foremost to clean up all them penalties. I want him to clean that up, and then also next, help them get down the field and help them score touchdown. We're looking for touchdown. We're tired of field goal here, field goal there. We want them to score touchdowns. So that's what I'm hoping McCoy will come in and do. McCoy also had a message to the Titan fans. He said, I understand the frustration. Our record, it is what it is, but I can promise you we're going to work out. We're going to work our tails off every day that we walk into this facility as a coaching staff, as players, to go out there and do whatever we can to give us our best opportunity to win football games. That's what it's all about. It's about winning. So just hearing that, I love that he said that. In his press conference, he didn't make no open end promises, anything like that. He just basically laid out the foundation of what it needs to be done and what they're going to do. And just like the last thing he said, man, it's all about winning and the best opportunity to win football games. So that's what I like to hear. And hopefully that his mindset will translate to the player's mindset, that translate to the play of the field. We just really wanted to see winning football from these Titans, man. So that was my rundown from this week 6 horrible loss, and also Callahan's losing their job, and Mike McCoy becoming the new interim head coach of the Titans. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Like, share, comment the video. If I miss anything on the Titans, please comment, let me know. We can talk about it all day. But until next time, this is Talk Your Spit TV. I'm Mario Harris. Thank you.